Hello, guys. Okay, beautiful. How's it going, Doxil?
Not too bad at all. Looking forward to this.
All good, man. I'm covering for Doctor. I can hear my stuff.
That's cool.
Crane, we can hear ourselves on stream, bro. It's all good.
What do you mean you're covering for Doctor? You're meant to be doing this with me anyway, aren't you? I don't know. Whatever.
I was meant to be done. But we are jumping back in. What's up, everyone? Sorry about the hassle with the Counter-Strike games. My name is Chris Leonhardt, and I'm joined by the true Doxil, and we are bringing you a match between Stern Rowboat and I do not have the other guy's name on my screen right now.
Lilfa or something.
Perfect.
No, don't. Wait, what's his... should be here. Awkward that we don't know it.
It says EUTwistedFate, but...
Yeah. EUTwistedFate. Is it him? I don't know. Let's just say it is.
He's on your team. Literally, yes. He's on your team.
Yeah, I know. It says Lilfa. Lilfa.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So...
Okay. Smurf, other account. We're not sure. Only one way to find out.
Let's see how they do. Has Stern Rowboat locked in yet? He's
hovering Caitlyn right now.
Okay. Well, he does have a lot of wait, sorry. That's Lilfa. Lilfa has a lot of AD carry experience, but he's been spamming a lot of Nami lately. But he does lock in the Yasuo pick here, so it'll be Yasuo against, is it Caitlyn?
Yasuo against Caitlyn for the first match between Lilfa and Stern Rowboat.
So this should be interesting anyway. Generally, you'd expect the AD carry to win in a matchup. This is a melee, but because it's Yasuo, it could go either way. It depends on the proficiency he has on that champion. So really have to see the starting items as well to really get a grasp of how the lane might go.
It depends how Stern Rowboat particularly plays around the minion waves to avoid letting Yasuo get onto him and just dodging the tornadoes. Alternatively, this could be our first 100 farm game, but I highly doubt it because everyone is out for blood. Hopefully in chat as well.
Hopefully. I don't think anyone wants to sit through them just farming up to 100. It's like, just keep going. Take that 10, 15 minutes, whatever.
What if we're playing the technical perfect League of Legends game where it's a 1v1 where they rotate to Rift Herald solo it?
I don't want a game like that. It takes so long.
If you play Aatrox, you can go solo Rift Herald.
You could. I mean, you can solo Rift Herald if you have Kindred as well, if you do it properly.
Oh.
But that's from like level 6. But we do see the Caitlyn taking the exhaust and flash to the ignite and flash on the side of Lilfa, and both have Warlord's Bloodlust for that little bit of sustain in lane, so gonna have to wait and see what they pick up as their starting items. It could go with the Longsword start with 3 biscuits or 3 pots, or the Doran's Blade with 1 pot or 1 biscuit. It could go either way. With Yasuo not having bought any items yet, so we'll just have to wait for that to start out.
I'm not believing we're playing a game with AP Caitlyn, considering the AP. Oh god. AP removed from traps, it's all down to 90 caliber net. Please no.
Wait,
please no.
AP Caitlyn, really?
No.
Well, Yasuo has started off with the Doran's Shield, so he's seeming to go for that little bit of more calm start to the lane. Wants to try to negate some of the damage coming in from the Caitlyn's auto attacks.
This is a no return 1v1, so neither of these champions can recall. So we're gonna have to see if this defensive play works out for Lilfa.
Well, I don't know if it will do a huge amount. We'll have to have a look at his stats here. He does have 60 attack damage, so it will be 10 below Stern Rowboat's 70, who is starting off on that Doran's Blade, and will have a range advantage over Lilfa, so he will be able to zone him away from that CS wave, which he is doing right now, but Lilfa will be able to use his Q just to get a little bit of farm every now and then. He won't be able to contest or to farm up as much as Caitlyn will because of that range disadvantage. So Caitlyn might want to play for the long game and go for that 100 CS.
We'd expect the wave to get pushed in initially by Rowboat. When Yasuo gets his dash, he'll have a little more playmaking potential. Obviously, the shield can tank up a couple of those shots. But really, we're expecting aggressive moves from Lilfa to try and take out Rowboat.
He will have to be really aggressive in this lane. But he might wait until he gets level 6 so he can get that knock up and use his ultimate to deal damage to her where she can't do much damage, or if any damage at all, to him. She is at a disadvantage from level 6 because of the fact that he does have his wind wall to negate her ultimate, so we'll just have to see how they play around those power spikes.
Just a quick reminder, guys, we are streaming for Special Effect. It is a UK-based charity that basically helps disabled people game in their own ways and brings kind of a little bit of joy to people who maybe no longer have those experiences. Certainly worth checking out. Feel free to share the stream and the donation page, and thank you to everyone who's joined us so far for the night, whether you're a watcher, a caster, or a donator. Do see Lilfa going hard on Rowboat.
But the 90 caliber net does give the headshot, so he gets a little bit of damage back onto Lilfa. These are not really the traits that Lilfa wants to take. He is losing a little more health than he's taking from Stern Rowboat. Plus, Stern Rowboat does have the lifesteal from his Doran's Blade, so he can just heal back up a little bit better than Yasuo can, especially since his passive on his Doran's shield doesn't heal up as much as the Doran's Blade will allow Stern Rowboat with his basic attacks onto that minion wave.
Certainly that is the case, and Lilfa's going to want to make those moves if he can. Rowboat right now just playing safe, abusing that range advantage.
We do see that Yasuo is actually doing really well in minimizing the CS differential between the two champions. He is only 7 CS behind Stern Rowboat, even though he is being pushed away from the CS waves a lot more than he would be, say, if he were in a range-on-range matchup. But he will be waiting for that level 6 power spike, as we said earlier, so that he can get that ultimate down onto Stern Rowboat and start going for these really aggressive plays to try and get first blood.
Rowboat did lose a little bit of control over the minion wave there, so he's going to want to try and force Lilfa away, but he's going in.
See the exhaust going down onto Lilfa, but Stern Rowboat does take quite a lot of damage. This could be the end of the game here. With Flash from Stern Rowboat, Ignite does go down, and this will be first blood. Trade kill for kill, but Yasuo does get the first blood in the end.
It's the first blood that counts, ladies and gentlemen, and that was some aggressive play, baiting Stern Rowboat towards the tower to take him out, to force him into, or to elongate that mid lane and force the fight.
But to be fair, it was very close on the side of Stern Rowboat. He could have gotten first blood not very easily, but he could easily have gotten it. He did land that Yordle snap trap to get the headshot onto Lilfa, but he didn't quite have the reaction time or enough damage to get that last basic attack in first to secure that first blood. So it did go over to Lilfa in the end. So we'll be going on to the second game of this best of 3 and see if we can turn it into a 3-part series than just a 2-0.
Certainly Rowboat is going to want to be striking back from that one. We're going to get things set up, guys. Just a quick second, and we will jump back into this next game.
As soon as we get invited to the lobby. There we are. Legacy client for the win.
Who's willing to 1v1 DC on stream?
I can 1v1 DC, but he'll beat me.
Playing on Wi-Fi in the middle of nowhere. I take this. Playing on Wi-Fi on my trash tier laptop. Yes. It's on.
Yep. We're ready to go. So we probably will see a range on range matchup this time with Lilfa maybe learning from his mistakes in the last game. Even though he did win, it was just barely by the skin of his teeth that he snatched that win from Stern Rowboat. So we'll probably see a range matchup there. I'm really surprised that today we haven't seen any Jace or Olaf. Well, those really good early level those really good early level picks, especially having a great level 1. We haven't seen either of them be picked up at all.
Especially considering we are running a rule where you cannot recall and get your health back, so those early pressure champions do certainly make sense. I just want to see a full AP Janna. Throw back to the past.
Full AP Janna or full attack speed Janna.
Full attack speed Lulu.
Yeah, that destroys people. Well, not as good as it used to be, of course, but it had its time. But as we said, the Olaf and the Jace being picks that we would love to see since they are so good at level 1. Stern Rowboat is actually hovering that Jace pick, so we'll see if he does that. It does lock that in the next 6 seconds and confirm that as his champion pick.
Interesting pick up from Lilfa. Has finally last second locked in the Ezreal.
That is a very interesting pick as well on the side of Stern Rowboat. He does opt in for the Pantheon with Ignite and Exhaust. So it'll be a very interesting lane matchup this.
Double combat summoners. One thing I was considering possibly expecting from Lilfa here is actually switching things up and possibly playing the AP Ezreal, especially if he's expecting Stern Rowboat to be gunning towards him. It's not hard to miss those mystic shots, especially when he gets in close. But no, it looks like it's going to be a traditional heal up. I'm not quite sure how your scaling Ezreal will go in that case, but he certainly would have needed items for the AP to go online.
I do like the pick of the Pantheon, especially with the Thunderlord's proc, because once you have your E, you'll use the Q, obviously, the throwing of the spear to try and zone away that Ezreal, but you'd also use your E to proc that Thunderlords and do so much damage. It does insane amounts of damage. Well, normally you'd back in lane and get the items that would allow for that damage to be I'm trying to think of a word for it, to be made bigger. I don't have a word. So eloquent in the way I cast, but it still does a huge amount of damage, and you don't want to go into that as an AD carry. So I'd be expecting the Pantheon to win this lane, but you never know. Lilfa could pull it out of the bag.
I will give Ezreal the slight benefit of the doubt. There is some outplay potential to Arcane shifting away from the Pantheon damage, so it will be a slight skill match up here.
We do see Pantheon starting off with his corruption potion, so he is going for the more sustained lane, going for relying on his mana rather than inherent attack damage from items like a longsword or a Doran's Blade, but we do see the Doran's Blade and the one pot on the side of Ezreal, going for more of that sustain lane as well, but more for the attack damage rather than going for the sustain lane of the Corruption Potion or refillable pot.
Just very slow start. Pantheon does like that early aggression, so Rowboats are moving up, trying to just control the wave without taking too much damage from Lilfa. Meanwhile, this Bard has just collected his third meep.
I collected my first. But we do...
And we're both playing Bard.
Yeah, both Snow Day Bard as well. But what I like about the Pantheon pick as well into versus the Ezreal matchup is he does have his Shield of Ages to allow for to block some of those skill shots from Ezreal, so it will give him a little bit more benefit in this matchup. But we will have to see Ezreal playing a bit more protectively, more defensively in this matchup because of the fact that he is into a matchup that the Pantheon has his throwing spears, which are not skill shots, so they will definitely land every time. So he'll have to be very wary of that. Plus with the shield, it is not something that he wants to go all in on if he has a shield up. We do see Pantheon going fully in, using his spear strike, but the exhaust did go down, and he's taking a lot of damage there.
That auto attack trade from Lilfa turned that one. This isn't really a fight, like this isn't really a lane phase that Lilfa wants to extend out. He had the minion wave on his side, and one of the things he's really going to struggle with is towards that level 5, level 6 point, he will have used most of his mana if he's trying to farm the wave safely. So he really needs to get that pressure onto Rowboat now, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Going down, he arcane shifts away, but does he have the health to stay alive? Stern Rowboat has the mana, but that's an aggressive flash from Lilfa. Both are very low, but Lilfa doesn't have the mana. Stern Rowboat losing a lot of health here, but he had the sustain from his corruption potions, but he has no corruption potions left. Will he get caught out by Lilfa? Both are so low.
Next ability should be it, but the shield is up for Stern Rowboat. That will block, and Lilfa's out of mana. This is going to be a very close trade.
Ooh, that is so close to him dying. He will be able to maybe get the last hit down onto Lilfa. He has his shield, and he gets the last hit. That is 1-1, if I am not mistaken. Or am I mistaken?
Does match our series up at 1-1. We are going to game 3. But what an intensely close match this was.
I think it was very well played from both sides. It was so I think it was a little sloppily played in the beginning from Stern Rowboat. He overextended onto the matchup, going in on Ezreal a little early when he didn't have the minion wave to kind of help him, and plus attacking and basic attacking, Ezreal got his minion wave to attack him, so he took needless amounts of damage that he shouldn't really have taken. But I think it was well played by both sides, and Stern Rowboat did pick up the kill, which tied up our series, as you said. So we will be going to game 3, and hopefully we'll have another good game on our hands.
And we did say that the Ezreal pick would be running low on mana. Using that Essence Flux did help knock down his mana pool. And ultimately, that just left Lilfa a sitting duck there. Certainly not a situation anyone wants to be in.
Exactly. And what I would like to have seen Ezreal do in that situation is to go for the slow play. Once he was very low on health and out of mana, what he should have done really is try to get his health up by using that passive on the Doran's Blade and get his health up that way, and then he could wait for his mana to slowly regen, because Pantheon isn't going to get his health back up very quickly at all. So it really would have been the best situation for him to do that, because he was out of his corruption potions and he had no way of sustaining unless he has runes, which allows him to lifesteal. So he could have really sustained his health and mana back up and then maybe gone for a play then. But he didn't really think of going for that more slow and low play in the end.
And it is that Aegis protection that just blocks one ability, whether that's a basic attack or the Mystic Shot, really just giving that edge ultimately to Lilfa.
And we are waiting on someone to leave the game.
I'm pretty sure the only person left in the game might be Lilfa at this point.
Stern Rowboat I know left. I don't know about Lilfa. It is taking quite a while for them to leave the game. Maybe they just want to screw about on Summoner's Rift, have a bit of fun there.
I can still get 100 CS in first tower.
Even if I didn't win. But we have yet to see any of the really early level picks, which is really surprising because they're actually quite common to be played in solo queue, at least the Jaces, and Olaf is normally taken in jungle. So with that flexibility of Jace in the top lane and in the mid lane, and even sometimes in the AD carry role, really surprising that we haven't seen him be picked up yet.
It would be interesting, either that or see these high skill dependent matchups, these maybe like Zeds against Syndras, going for these hardcore level 6 all-ins almost.
It would indeed be very interesting to see those sorts of matchups, especially since we know that these two players are pretty good at League of Legends. Stern Rowboat being a Diamond 4, if not being higher. He's a Diamond 4 on this account. If he has another account, I have no idea. But Diamond 4 is not bad. It's pretty good.
Man, certainly looking forward to seeing what these guys pick in their last game.
And we do need to restart the stream, apparently.